So do you want to start telling us a little bit more about Ananka and exactly what it does and how it was born?
So Ananka was launched more than 2 years ago in December 2014. Um, the main purpose of Ananka was initially to celebrate visionary women and to showcase them as role models for young aspiring women, so that they can get inspired by them and follow their lead. But and 2 years down the line, it basically became a platform where we can have open, inclusive debates on issues, anything from climate change to women's health to sustainability to STEM fields, empowering women through technology and STEM fields. So basically, Ananka is a platform where we not only showcase women as trailblazers for young aspiring women, but it is a platform where we document their achievements as well, because we need to have her stories on display so that it's well documented, and women, millennials can get inspired by them. Other than that, Ananka has basically collaborated with a number of entities internationally, with Empower Women as well, and other regional entities like Circle Women, Women's Digital League, Women Engineers Pakistan, and US-based Miracle Foundation as well. They basically work to empower women in STEM. And the role is to have an inclusive dialogue about the role of women in today's world and how pivotal that role is, because we know that half of the population of this world is women, and women are also being called the third billion after China and India. So it makes sense to have a focus on them, to have in-depth research and data available, so that women get inspired, they get empowered, and they can spread the word of the important role women have in today's fast-changing world.
Amazing, thank you. So yeah, I mean, the idea of partnering with Ananka was because women and sustainability are trying to advance women in the sustainable field. And so we thought that because media is so important nowadays, like having this platform could help anyone to get more into this field, to have a voice, and basically to start influencing people around us, because we know
Absolutely.
that sustainability is not mainstream yet. And so we want to use a platform such as yours, because we think that our values are aligned to yours. And
True.
So we know that you have done a couple of other internship programs with several other universities and organizations. So could you tell us a little bit more about what it is, what has been the experience of the students that you have had, and how it, like, in the timeline works? What are you expecting from the people that want to apply to this opportunity?
So we basically have two programs at the moment. One is Ananka's digital internship program, where any woman from anywhere in the world can apply. It's a virtual office that we have. Ananka is basically a virtual office and virtual media office. So, women can basically, girls in college, university, they can basically work from the comfort of their home, and they can basically engage in meaningful conversations with women. Say for instance, one intern is from Kenya, and the other is from Karachi, Pakistan, and the third one is from Australia, Brisbane, Australia. So what happens in this internship is that we have a diversity of thought and a diversity of cultures that they bring with themselves. And what they do is then pretty amazing. We've got, we launched our internship program in March 2016. And it basically, in about, for the last 12 months, we've mentored 30 interns basically. And they are anywhere from Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, Turkey, UAE, Pakistan, and Australia, and the US as well. So it has been an amazing experience from our side as well, and theirs as well. Two of our interns went on to become UN Women's Empower Women Global Champions for Change. And the best thing about this internship is it gives them an opportunity not just to hone their skills and experience something quite amazing, but they go out, they interview other women trailblazers as their assignments, and they are indirectly mentored by them as well. Because when a young girl goes out and interviews a CEO of a company, I had this intern Josephine Adetti. She went on to interview this amazing woman who's doing great things in Kenya for girls through football. So she went on, she went out and met her, and she was inspired by her. So indirectly, she's being mentored by these women trailblazers as well. And Josephine basically came to find out what feminism is actually about. It's not about being anti-men or so on and so forth. So that's what Ananka's internship is all about. We've collaborated, like I said, with a number of entities: Miracle Foundation and Circle Women, which is a Pakistani-based organization that basically works to empower women entrepreneurs and women advocates of women economic empowerment. So it's been a great experience as far as that is concerned. We've also got another program called Empower, and that is for professional women in media, where they basically come on board as honorary Ananka staff, and they take over Ananka, and basically they come up with their own ideas, and they basically manage Ananka.
Amazing. So yeah, I mean, for the people, I know that there are a lot of people interested in starting to have a voice in the media industry, but they might not have the skills. So for what I'm understanding, you do not have any requirements on that. But at the end of the internship, what we're looking for, it will be that they have some sort of like takeaways, like really hard skills that they could apply, even if they do not end up being journalists, but
Absolutely.
they could have those skills. Is that right?
Absolutely. The basic idea behind these internships is to groom, people, media, people in communications or advocacy, and to groom them in such a way that, you need to have the skills that you need to have. It's not actually a skill, but, you need to have passion for what you're doing. If you have the passion, you would be dedicated to what you're doing. So for me and for Ananka, what we want, or what we require is, being passionate about what you're doing. It can be advocacy, it can be, journalism, but you need to have that driving force inside you that that basically sets things apart. So other than that, your writing skills, the writing skills and interviewing people or doing research, we're there to help anyone who comes on board, because that's what Ananka is all about. We want people to come and have this experience, be mentored by field experts, know where they're they're not wrong, but know where they can do something different, or have a different approach to something, have a different approach to disseminating information. So for all those, things, honing skills and improving your writing, or doing research, that's what we are here for. So basically that's about it.
So we were talking about like the internship being a 3-month program.
Yeah.
And in those 3 months, what are the commitments that anyone that is interested in the program should take? And what are the deliverables and the expectations that you have for these people?
So the way we work is, as far as deliverables are concerned, for instance, if you want to write an article on, leveraging women's or girls' potential for climate change, you basically have the idea pitch. You submit that. We talk about it. Based on feedback, you do the article. The way we work is, we want our writers or our interns, anyone who's working for Ananka, to give us their deadline, because we don't want to pressurize, have a pressured deadline, and we want the writer to be at ease, in doing how or what, and how they want to do it. So, but the deadline that the writer herself gives us, it has to be, they have to follow through. I mean, they need to, because it's a deadline that they're giving me, and not the other way around. So even if it's like after 3 weeks that they submit, it's April 6th. The deadline is April 6th. So she needs to submit it on April 6th, because that's the deadline that she has given me. But of course, if there are some issues or anything of that sort, extensions can be given. Other than that, there's no, there's a lot of flexibility as far as Ananka is concerned.
So you usually have these feedback sessions, perhaps in the middle of it, so that you can be part of the whole
Absolutely.
process of writing the article.
We have virtual sessions, virtual in the sense we have Skype sessions. We have groups on WhatsApp, so that, because it's a virtual office, so that we're in constant touch. So if there's any problem, if there's anything you need to discuss, or the intern needs to discuss, they can just, send me an email. I'm just, a click away, or a WhatsApp message, or, they can come on Skype and, talk about it. Just go with the flow.
Perfect. You have any questions about it?
I'd love to know a little bit more about the the platform itself, your viewership, how it's grown. Just a little bit more about the history would be really interesting.
Yeah, it started in August 2014, because I worked as a journalist, a freelance journalist. I did a lot of interviews of, the movers and shakers, in the UAE's corporate world, in fact, Middle East corporate world. And as you know, almost 70 to 80% of them were men. So, one day I decided, why not have something, just focusing women. I mean, yes, there are, magazines like Forbes Women and Entrepreneur and so on and so forth. But I wanted something different, not just a magazine or an electronic magazine that showcased women, but a platform where you can have a dialogue about, the successes of women. We're not documenting women achievements as much as we should. And not only that, what I wanted was to have an open debate or an open dialogue. It was very difficult in the beginning, because I was the only one, with an idea and, just saying, all right, I want to do it, and I'm going to do it. I told my husband, and he was like, just, do it slowly and steadily. Don't be hasty. But I wanted Ananka to be up and running by December. So So basically, my research and everything started in late September, and I was the only person doing it. I started writing, researching, writing. I spoke to a lot of contacts because of the interviews that I did and the freelance work that I did. I knew a lot of women, especially in the UAE, who were, CEOs and who had their own, small businesses, entrepreneurs, and so on and so forth. So I started writing and, emailing all of them and told them that, I have this initiative and I would love to interview you. And they asked if, it's a paid for thing, So I said, no, I want to highlight, I want to showcase whatever you're doing, your initiatives and the way you've, overcome all challenges. It will not be paid. I don't want, payment in any regard. I want you to highlight you. So it was amazing to see how, big CEOs, women CEOs jumped on the idea, and they basically, wanted to collaborate with me. They wanted such a platform. So initially I had, I had interviewed women like Reem Al-Houni, who's a big name here. She's won a lot of, she's won awards at the New York Film Festival for her documentaries. And, she was like, oh, definitely, I want to do this. So that was how it basically began. Initially, my focus was, to include everyone in the picture. But then through research, I saw that it's better, obviously, to focus solely on, women and girls and not have a general audience. So 1 year down the line, my viewership grew manyfold. And I had started collaborating with Empower Women, and I had different partnerships to go on with. So it's been an amazing journey. We're a nonprofit, so we sometimes struggle, but the response that I have had regionally and internationally, it's been amazing.
Yeah, I would like to add that I have worked with Sabine in a couple of projects, and have had the pleasure to interview people for Ananka.
Yes.
And it has been great. To me, it has been just like, I just met this amazing person that I'm just like, I'm impressed that she has not a platform where to express, like, I just want to communicate something. And Ananka has been like a platform to do so. And so if you go and look the website and all that kind of thing, like whatever you'll find there, whatever field these women are in, it's just inspiring. And it is not just, like pinky stuff, but real things happening. And it is just about like connecting other people in
Absolutely. Ways. And one thing that what I wanted, how I wanted Ananka to, be different from other media channels. It's not, I don't want it to be Washington Post. I want it to be Ananka. With all due respect to Washington Post and all other media agencies, I want it to be a people's thing, a woman thing. We're there to, help anyone who's writing for us. That's what our job is. What I want is, although we talk about child marriage and we talk about, domestic violence and, gender-based violence and so on and so forth, but the idea has always been, what we try to do is to shed a positive light on everything. So even if you're talking about gender-based violence, where there can't be any positive side to it, the important thing that we want to showcase is, we want to talk about what can be done, or what solutions can there be, positive role models, so everything positive, which in a lot of cases, when you look at media, especially when I see media in our side of the world, there's a lot of negativity in the articles that you read. But what we want to do is give a positive side to, to the world. I am an eternal optimist, and that's what I want Ananke to showcase as well.
Yeah. I mean, for this particular internship, we have selected a couple of topics that are related to sustainability. Of course, they are like pretty broad, and they might be changed because this depends on whoever it's interested in participating in and whatever their interests are. But we wanted to focus these on something related to sustainability because, of course, that's what we are passionate about.
Yeah.
And so, like, we have these internship program that we are offering, but we are also expecting, perhaps in a less committed framework, just to have people that want to write something, that want to report something, or that might have a paper already and are looking for a platform where to submit this paper.
Yeah.
That will be a much more open kind of like selection process in which whoever has an interest can participate, and Sabine will be in charge of selecting, of course, which papers are going to be published.
And the most important thing about this program is to, it's really important, as far as sustainability is concerned, to have millennials' voice. You cannot talk about sustainable development goals or UN SDGs 2030 without including voices of the youth. So I think it's really important. That's why this program is so critical, to have a diversity of ideas on the table and have a dialogue or a debate on that through writing, through social media, the intern can have a social media campaign where the intern invites other people to take part in anything of that sort as well.
Anything else?
No. Answered my question. Thank you very much.
I hope I've answered, my answer was satisfactory.
Yes. Yeah, it's such an inspiring history, and it is such an amazing platform. Like, totally recommend it to just check it out. Okay, Sabine. So I think, like, for the next steps, like as we were saying, we have already just written down all the details about both of the programs, just for people to know. When will be the deadline for them to apply for this program, and when will you plan to start with the internship program? Because the other one, I think it will be much more open, right?
Yeah. The deadline for submissions for enrolling in the program is April 5th. By April 5th, participants or potential participants should submit their interest, their CV or a cover letter saying why they're interested in participating in this program. What I want to see again is the passion. They just need to tell us why they're interested and what drives them. So by April 5th, so that we can kickstart our program by April 10th. After the selection, it'll be a 3-month program. It's a flexible program, based on the interns' drive. And the other thing that we would love to have on that is their feedback about the program as well as we go on, to make it a great experience for the interns as well.
Perfect. And for the call for papers, do you have any date in mind too, or should it be the same date, or what are your expectations? People should, there's no specific date, but people should inform, beforehand. By April 5th, they should
email us that they're interested, at least tell us that they're interested in writing papers, so that we know that, these are the people who are interested in, writing a research paper for us.
Perfect. I know you mentioned that we're going to have a specific contact within the US. Is that correct? And should they send the information to this person, or who should they contact you?
I've already sent you, details of the our email address. So that is one thing. We will have a person. She's based in Australia, Melanie Bublik. She will basically, in fact, her.
I know.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So she's our honorary team member. So basically, she will be handling, the emails and stuff. So she will be the go-to person.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much, Sabine. Yeah.
So it's been a pleasure meeting you both, meeting you. Yeah. And I look forward to the program.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll keep the conversation open, and I'll send you the recording. And thank you so much for showing up today. And
thank you for having me.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Great. You too. Bye-bye.